If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. First of all, I want to say I'm sorry about my hoodie, but it's just too cold not to have my ears covered up, so I apologize. It's right this minute, it's 10 degrees. Last night it got down to 6 degrees. As everybody knew that this Arctic cold front was coming down, and it hit us pretty hard. Everybody wanted to know, of course, wanted me to keep you updated, of course, on how well the camper did. But just give you an idea how cold it is. I can stand on the snow now without sinking. See? So I can walk on it. So it's cold. Now, I don't know how many people know this about me, but I hate the cold. And I know there's going to be a lot of people say, oh, I'd rather have the cold than the heat. I know that some people will actually come out and try to do this lifestyle in the cold. There's a guy, pretty popular YouTuber right now. He's a Canadian. The last video I saw of his, he was in South Dakota in the grasslands in his pop-up camper. I got to give him some credit. You know, there's so many YouTubers that don't teach the lifestyle correctly, I think. They want to teach you how to live this lifestyle. They want to all convince you to come out here and live this lifestyle. But I don't think they always teach you the things that you really need to know in case you can't go to warmer climates. I really want to go to a warmer climate. This is not something I want to do. I hate the cold. Why would I want to do this? Now, the Canadian, he must like the cold, so that's fine. But he, and hopefully I, are trying to show you how to deal with this lifestyle if you do get stuck in the winter and you can't make it to Arizona. And I think these kind of lessons are very important. And I wish all YouTubers will do it. Now, again, I recognize that he chooses to do this. So, you know, he may be tougher than me in the wintertime, and he's got some advantages over that because of that. But for me, this is terrible. And so I had to figure out ways to not make it terrible. So all winter long, as it was getting colder and colder and colder, I was taking steps to learn things. So when it got down to this temperature, I didn't have any major issues. So the one thing that I learned was I had to stop the condensation. Yeah, I just had to stop it. And the only way to stop it was to insulate. And at the time I was still boondocking. So I grabbed some insulation from Lowe's and I finished up the insulation. I had to learn whether it was important to buy electric blankets or if I should just do it with regular blanket. I had to learn if I could do it with propane. Did I need a propane heater or did I need a diesel heater? One of the other things I had to worry about was water freezing on me. And so I got that resolved. So I'm going to go through a few of the things that I did to prepare for this, and so I could have a very comfortable night. I was actually warmer last night than I am on a regular night, you know. Usually, if I can keep the temperature above 32 degrees in the camper, I don't run the heater. Well, last night, I would say I was definitely in the 50s. I ran the heater, turned the flame down as low as I could on the propane stove. Now, there's the thing, is the propane stove. You know, with the space limitations, people think I need a diesel heater and all kinds of different heaters. But the propane stove has been just an absolute perfect solution to our heating dilemma. Assuming that I never had to spend another winter in the cold climates like Missouri, I don't have to worry about hauling around a piece of equipment that I don't need. So the Coleman stove was a perfect solution, regardless of what the naysayers say. I put a flower pot on it. I've never had an issue. As a matter of fact, and I know this is going to just really get under the nerves of a lot of people, my socks got wet the other day, and I put my socks on top of those flower pots to help them dry out, and it did. It worked just like it does in a house when you put your socks on the wood stove. We did that all the time when I was a kid. I hung socks on the wood stove, and they go tss, and they dried quite nicely. Nothing caught on fire. the flower pots actually, I was actually able to prove that the flower pots did what I wanted them to do, which was keep the material of whatever fell on the flame from burning up. Early on, there was a lot of suggestions that I needed to get electric blankets. My problem with electric blankets was I didn't want to waste electric power, my batteries. Remember, as the temperature gets colder, your batteries are not as efficient. They lose power. And so, if, you know, I got a 122 amp hour battery, and I just watched a video the other day that showed the depletion of amp hours on batteries. And I think he said, don't quote me, but I think he said that you lose half of the efficiency of the amp hours on your battery when it's cold outside. So I would not have been able to power an electric blanket. Water is my drinking water has been perfect. When I had my drinking water in gallon jugs, I was having all kinds of problems. Condensation issues, freezing issues. No place to store them was a big one. Well, Mom gave me this 5-gallon Rubbermaid water cooler with a little spigot on it. Solved all the problems. I have no condensation issues. The water doesn't freeze. So the only mistake I made last night was I left the my wet wipes, so I can clean my hands and stuff. I left the wet wipes down on the floor of the truck and they froze. Other than that, the camper did an absolutely amazing job. Warmer than I was on a normal, regular day. Plan for what you need. I recognize a lot of people want to build a camper and have all this equipment on it. I would recommend, as you learn things about your camper, start adding on things that you need to heat with. If you don't need to be in Missouri during wintertime and you're down in Florida, you don't need a diesel heater because the temperatures will rarely get down below 25 degrees. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.